Welcome to the newest installment of the Untitled Film Nerd Project. My name is Philip, and joining me as always is TJ.
Hello.
And for today's episode, as mentioned in the previous podcast, Mother, ! We watched the movie The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Now, I've never seen the director. I'm probably going to butcher his name as usual, so apologies. Yorgos Lanthimos?
Yeah, that's how I'd pronounce it.
And his screenwriting partner, Efthimus Filippo, is my guess. They write very interesting esoteric movies. The only reason I know about them, I haven't seen any of his other movies yet, but I know of them because I've seen him pop up on a few like top 10 of 2016, 2015, whatever year, countdowns and stuff on YouTube. Like, I think he's shown up on Your Movie Sucks. I think he's shown up on Good Bad Flicks. So I know about Dogtooth, and I know about The Lobster. Both of those I want to see. So this is I don't know about you, but this is my first foray into one of his movies. But I knew going into it to expect something different. Now, before we get into that, when we were deciding what to watch next, you said there's a movie on our list that's going to be heavy. Was it this one?
Yes.
Okay, thank God.
Yes.
We need a break from the heavy fucking movies. Mother and this back-to-back. Whew, holy crap. All right, so spoiler warning now. Jump ahead in the podcast to the timestamp I have right now to avoid any and all spoilers, which pretty much is just you listening to the outro. So before we get into our thoughts, let's go and do the cast and crew rundown. The dad was played by Colin Farrell. Needs no introduction. The mom was played by Nicole Kidman. Again, no introduction. The daughter, Kim, was played by Rafe Cassidy. And she has been in Dark Shadows and Snow White and the Huntsman.
Interesting.
Yeah. Vaguely recognized from Dark Shadows, I think. But I can't say for sure. Bob, the boy, was played by Sonny Soljic. And he's relatively new. And then Martin was played by Barry Keoghan, who is surprisingly Irish, surprisingly 25, and and the only thing I recognized him being in was Dunkirk, which I haven't seen yet. I don't know if you have.
No, I haven't.
And of course, the director was Yorgos Lanthimos. And I did write about Martin that he could easily be the brother of Ty Sheridan.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
Yeah, I was like, they look awfully a lot alike. Okay, so that's cast and crew rundown for the main cast. I did write, when I was writing about the son, Bob, I wrote, how do you explain this movie to a child actor?
Yeah.
This movie was interesting. What were your thoughts? I'm kind of just like stuck on adjectives.
Interesting is a good choice.
Yeah. I did like how they brought the Greek myth of Agamemnon to life.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. For those that don't know, this is going to be a bad butchering. I can't even pronounce the story it's from. Iphigenia and Aulus, I think, is how you say it. But I am bad at pronouncing things, as our listeners would know. But basically, Agamemnon and his men are stranded on an island because the goddess of the hunt, Artemis, has suspended the winds that they need to sail for Troy. But she's done that because he's responsible for the death of a sacred deer belonging to her. Mm-hmm. So in order for the war effort to continue, for her to allow the winds to blow again, he must sacrifice his own daughter. Since he took something from her, she needs to take something from him. Loved that it was like a retelling of that Greek myth. And that they referenced it in the movie as well.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I'm 50-50 on wanting to be told, like, explain this movie to me. You know what I mean? Like, I want an explanation by the end of the movie. Why is what's happening? And we didn't get that at all.
Yeah.
And I finished before you, so I was doing some research. And I don't even think the director knows. I think he just wrote it to be ambiguous and open-ended, which is, honestly, I'm fine with it. Now that I've had some time to sit with it. When it ended, I'm like, what's this about? Like, I know we're not in my notes yet, but the last 3 things I wrote in my notes before I did the cast and crew stuff was why, what, how. It's like, how okay, I knew why, of course, but like, what and how?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, the how I'm still kind of...
yeah, I mean, that's... Well, I will say, though, I really enjoyed this. I did like that it took place in not just a hospital, but like a state-of-the-art hospital. And so it kind of shows you that they're exhausting every single thing they can do with medical science to explain what's going on. And they can't. And it just makes you wonder, like, is he like a devil? Is he like a shaman? Like, what is this 16-year-old kid got? Like, if he has these kind of powers, why didn't he just make the dad fall in love with his mom?
I don't think he was even interested in that.
Or yeah, true. Or like, did he like? I'm very interested, like, of course, because like there's a huge question mark as to how.
Yeah, it's like, was it poison or
Suggestion, like hypnosis?
yeah, suggestion?
Because he talked with a very flat cadence. Which I think also...
Well, I mean, everybody did.
Yeah, exactly. But his was like almost rhythmic. And like the scene where the daughter could walk because he told her to.
Yeah.
And then the minute they hung up, she collapsed again. I was like, damn, like there's something in his voice then. Him visiting their house for dinner allow him to psychologically, like verbally, put his plans into motion. It's very interesting. I think it's vocal, and I think it's some kind of power of suggestion. But then how does a seemingly... I don't want to say... like, he didn't seem like the most intelligent kid. So how does a very average kid all of a sudden have this unique ability? It's very intriguing. I will definitely be checking out more movies from this director. I like a movie that I said during our review of Mother. In this age of remakes and sequels, seeing something so freaking original, and yes, it's taken from the Greek myth, but at the same time, it's a modern telling, and not a lot of people know about it. And you know, and I've seen like the plots of his other movies from watching the top 10 lists and stuff, and they all just sound really, really out there, really interesting. He's going to be a director that I definitely keep an eye on. And I hope he stays in this really kind of weird drama horror, kind of weaving back and forth between the two. But so yeah, I've been talking. Your thoughts on anything?
So I liked the direction of how they were told to act.
Very flat.
Extremely flat, like desensitized
Yeah.
and no emotion.
Like the stuff, like you're probably reacting the same way. Like he's like, "Show me your chest." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Well,
Like-
and also even at when he met the family, and it's like, well, she started menstruating last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the son wanted to see his armpit hair.
Yeah.
It was very yeah, definitely. It was very just
Odd.
Yeah,
And-
it was, and like you said, desensitized.
Well, and one of the reasons why I liked that so much was because this movie was so unsettling.
Yes.
And that method of acting added to it. It was, everything looks okay, everything looks perfect, but something's off.
Yeah, we were texting each other in the beginning, and because you were like, the tags for this movie should be like weird, fucking weird. This is fucking weird. Like, yeah, like nothing had happened yet. There's a train going by, but watch the train graphic. We're talking through it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was unsettling, even though nothing had happened yet. Much like Mother, it just had that. Now, this wasn't as intense as Mother by any means at all, but that sense of uneasiness was already there. Like even when we first see Martin and Colin Farrell's character meeting up, I'm thinking, I'm like, what is their relationship? What's going on here?
Yes.
This seems really weird. Like, is this like a weird, he's cheating on his wife with an underage boy kind of thing? Like, what the fuck? He's giving him a watch. Like, what's going on? It just had this like, really.
You can't show up at my work.
Yeah. It was really like, okay, interesting way to take it. They didn't go that way, so they went in a completely different direction. It was much more I don't know what the word is for that, but it wasn't that direction. And
No.
but I was thinking that like for like the first like 20 minutes, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, because he's just introduced, it's really bizarre, and just their interaction is kind of just. But then again, we didn't expect the whole entire movie to be stilted.
Yeah.
So looking back on it now, for the movie, it was completely normal.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, their dialogue was so desensitized and emotionless and odd. And we hadn't experienced his family and then his mom yet. So, and the doctors, we hadn't experienced anyone else talking. So it was just them. Well, no, in the beginning, we had the two doctors walking down the hallway having the conversation about the watch.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a weird conversation. It makes sense now. It makes sense now. But at the time, and having not seen any of his other work, the director, it was very just odd. It was a very odd movie to try and unfold and piece together at first. Because this relationship between Colin Farrell and Martin was very open-ended. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it seemed very secretive, very odd, maybe illegal. So we didn't know what was going on at first. And then even then, though, once it wasn't, some of the scenes suggested, like, really just... Like, I'm like, are you guys going to fuck in that hospital room? Because it feels like you're going to fuck in that hospital room.
Take off your shirt and show me your chest.
Yeah. And then later on, let me find
Which,
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt,
No, go ahead.
but he does exactly that. He does exactly what Martin says. So maybe it is some sort of suggestion.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, good call. I didn't think of that.
That he has.
I just thought it was interesting then, later on, when he was trying to get Martin to come out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I will fuck you and your mother just the way you wanted.
Yeah.
I was like, woo, damn, dude. Damn, dude. This
You
way,
probably shouldn't be screaming that in suburbia.
Yeah. I was like, damn, dude, you might want to keep your voice down. Like, even if this was like your secret underage boyfriend, you better keep your voice down, sir.
Something else about Martin that I noticed that I really liked in this was Martin had his own theme score.
Yes, he did. Every time he was on the screen, it got fucking eerie.
Yeah,
like
and
really
that's the best way that I can describe that score. Was it reminded me of like Twilight Zone?
Yeah,
music,
like really creepy strings. It was really eerie.
Yes,
yeah, I'm glad you noticed that too. I actually wrote that in my notes. I was like, every time he has, I didn't say what you said, but it's a good way to put it. He has his own like theme music, and yeah, which I thought was early on. It's like they're planting the seeds for something, just with the score, which is fucking awesome. Like that's fucking awesome. Like, just well done on that.
Let's see what else was there. Colin Farrell and Nicole Kidman have really geeky sex.
They have really creepy sex.
It's like, ew.
Like general anesthesia. No. Like that's I'm all for role playing. But if your husband's a surgeon and you're like, let me be one of your patients who's under the fucking anesthetic, Yeah. Yeah, it was very, 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 very strange.
Then Alicia Silverstone appearing out of nowhere.
I was like, is that Alicia Silverstone? Because some shots I was like, that's totally her. But then she would like look up and I'm like, oh, that's not her.
Yeah, I was like, is that her? Oh, as if. Wait.
Nice.
It is her. But, nice cameo from her. And she played fucking creepy well.
I swore, since you brought that up, reminds me of the conversation they had about his hands that kept coming up. I thought that was foreshadowing. I thought something would happen, and then Martin would literally take his hands. That's like a trophy or something. Like I swore that's where they were going with that. But much like Mother, I was wrong on that one. Train number 2 coming.
Good acting from the two kids.
Yes, definitely. Like I said earlier, like how do you explain this to a child actor? like
Well, and just the scenes where they were crawling around.
Yeah.
Like those weren't shortcuts. Those were like pretty long, drawn out scenes. So, but yeah, bravo to Nicole Kidman. I love her in these types of movies.
Yes.
And she can play cold-hearted so damn well.
I like that her and Colin Farrell have worked together before. So they have this nice chemistry together, which was really evident in the scene in the kitchen Was probably one of my favorite scenes between them two. On that same vein, bravo to Nicole Kidman for choosing the roles she does.
Yes.
Like, she could play it safe if she wanted to, and she doesn't. Now, Colin Farrell has worked with this director before, so cool for him for coming back. But Nicole Kidman, I think, just historically just chooses really interesting roles.
Yeah, I mean, this just reminded me of her role in Stoker, which is one of my all-time favorites.
Yes, love that movie.
And, yeah, just bravo to Nicole.
Definitely agree with that, yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way. What was your holy shit moment?
You go first, because I need to think on that.
Okay, mine's going to be what you wouldn't expect. You might be expecting, I would say, the end. And while a holy shit moment, it didn't quite... This is going to be more of... Like, since the movie was a little disjointed and esoteric, my holy shit moment's going to be the same. Because this one scene affected me, though, I think, the most. Even with all like the violence and stuff, and even the end, which was, you know, tough. My holy shit moment was the scene where this whole entire scene was like, and this isn't gonna, people are gonna be like, "What is this a holy shit moment?" So I'm gonna try and explain. The scene where the son cuts his hair and then drags himself to the kitchen to his dad and says that he'll water the plants and he wants to be a cardiologist now, just so his father wouldn't kill him. Like, that was such a fucking difficult scene for me. I was like, this kid is trying to please his father, do what his father says, so he doesn't get killed. Like, that's so fucked up, and so just like heart wrenching. Like, even just talking about it now, it's just like my chest tightens up. It's just like, So while not like, oh my god, like in your face, for me that was like my holy shit moment, because that's the scene that affected me the most. And I kind of just said, damn, out loud. Because it was so powerful. For me personally.
I guess my holy shit moment is not nearly as big, but it's probably the story that Colin Farrell told his son when he was telling him the secret.
Right?
I was like, you could have just said I stole some cards from Walmart when I was a kid.
I know. It's in my notes somewhere. I was just like, what the fuck kind of secret is that to tell your son?
Yeah.
Like, I jacked off my dad until he came. Like, that's what? And at that point, I'm like, okay, you know what? Whatever happens in this movie, okay, fine.
But and then it's like, you think fine. About it, like, it's normalcy for this world. I mean, they
exactly.
They lay out everything.
Oh yeah, they're like, it's like we're gonna relay our most personal everything, but act like it's the most dry, normal thing we could possibly say. Personal and physical and just, yeah,
clinical.
Yeah, exactly, and no emotion. Which is, it fit. I liked it. It was uncomfortable as hell to settle into.
Yeah, I mean, this was the no bedside manner world.
Oh yeah, because I mean that's pretty much. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, there's no subtlety to anything. We're just gonna tell you straight out. Because I think after this scene where he was like, "Show me your chest," and then that ended in not a fucking weird way. I'm like, okay, this is just, I'm accepting this universe, as you said, for being this like non-bedside manner, very just, as we said, flat and emotionless place where anything can be said. Or we'll tell the people that we are having dinner with that our daughter started menstruating last week. The daughter will bring it up to the kid when they're hanging out in the room. The son and Martin will have an awkward conversation. Like, it's like awkward conversations that aren't awkward to these people.
Yeah. Can I have your iPad when you die?
Oh my god. I was like, okay, you know what? Kill her. I was done with her after that. She's like, please. I'm like, fuck off. Ugh. If any, mediocre moment.
I guess apparently I would go with the information scene, or the information gathering scene that Nicole Kidman did with his coworker. The hand job scene.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha.
But just that overall scene, because he didn't really provide much.
Yeah, she didn't really accomplish anything there.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, your husband had been drinking. It's not my fault.
Yeah, I like that whole...
He repeated Colin Farrell's line.
Yeah. So Colin Farrell says, a surgeon is never to blame for the bad outcome of an operation. The anesthesiologist is. Then that other guy, the anesthesiologist, says, an anesthesiologist is never to blame for the bad outcome of an operation. The surgeon is. I like that. Thought that was pretty cool. And or maybe the eating spaghetti part with Martin and Nicole Kidman. I thought that was kind of eh.
Yeah, it just added to the fucking awkwardness of the entire damn film. It's like, get a damn paper towel, wipe your fucking mouth.
They don't care in this world.
Yeah.
Specific moment would have been the spaghetti scene. Because much like yours, it just didn't really do anything.
Well, yeah, and again, it was her trying to gather information, and she didn't fucking get any.
Yeah, okay, so the overall mediocre moment for this movie will be that she got no fucking information.
Yeah.
She tried. Okay, if any, again, LOL moment.
Nothing that comes to mind, which is kind of goes along with the entire point of the film. Like, it was just so flat, it's hard to have an LOL moment.
I have one.
Okay.
I have one. It goes along with what you were saying, though, about it being flat. The delivery by Nicole Kidman, I busted out laughing. When they were talking about their hair in the beginning at the dinner table, and she goes, we all have lovely hair. Just the way she delivered it, doesn't sound funny me saying it, but just the way she delivered it in the context of the conversation was fucking funny. I busted out laughing. I was like, okay, that's the LOL moment.
I can see that.
A close second is our daughter started menstruating last week, because I was like, what the fuck? That's number 2. That's a close second. But the we all have lovely hair was just such a perfectly delivered line. Just that one line encapsulates the dry, emotionless delivery by everyone. It's time for Philip's Notes. See, I'm singing it again because I'm not all fucking traumatized like I was after Mother. I didn't sing it after that one because I was like, ah. I was fucked. Like, oh my god, Mother. Ugh. And this one, I'm just like, what are we doing? The next movie is going to be way fucking less intense. Please.
Yes.
All right. The beginning, I don't need to see that shit. I don't need to see a triple bypass being performed. And it was a real fucking heart surgery that they showed.
Well, and also how it was introduced was kind of like almost jump scare-ish.
Well, that and
black screen and then
and boom.
Yeah.
Scary heartbeat. And with fucking choir music. Like,
shit.
I'm like, what the I was like, can we stop showing this? It went on for like a minute. I don't do good with that. It's like the whole medical shit. No, I don't do good with that. I'm not good with blood. I'm not good with seeing the insides of things. I'm good. And the fact that it was a real one, I'm good. So, if I ever watch this movie again, and I probably will, I'm going to be covering my eyes because I know it's coming. I was wondering out loud, who the fuck is this kid? What is the relationship? Especially when Colin Farrell's character said that it was a school friend of his daughter, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, because when Martin went over, the daughter didn't, it was like, hey, nice to see you again. They were just meeting. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? I said, is she really role-playing being under anesthetic? Because that's kind of fucked up. Much to your point, like you said, I wrote the music changes when he's with Martin, or whenever Martin's on the screen, which is awesome. We both noticed that. I said that the daughter couldn't sing very well.
No. So
that was that. Dinner at Martin's house. It's fucking awkward, like you said. Is that Alicia Silverstone? Yep. And as you know, and listeners, if you've listened long enough, you'll know I speculate while I watch. So I write down, is this what's going to happen? Is this what's going on with movies like this? So I'm asking myself, does the kid want a new father figure? It says designs to kill the family, and then have Colin Farrell's character be his new dad. I was wondering that. I was like, does the kid want a new father figure or more? Because we still weren't sure then what the fuck was going on. And then it showed its hand a little bit when Martin said he should have come out of surgery alive, but he died. So I was like, boom. I was like, revenge story. Okay. They threw me a bone. I know what's going on now. Can I see the hair on your body? We discussed that scene, but I wrote, this is how cross-generational porn begins. It's fucking weird. Initially, I thought it had like a weird, like Fatal Attraction, The Crush vibe to it. You know what I mean? Like in the beginning, Had that really like,
because it was very like he was stalking him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, why haven't you called?
Yeah, because the kid wouldn't take no for an answer.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the phone call that they had, the scene where he was talking to Colin Farrell. I keep saying Colin Farrell's character. Colin Farrell's character is named Steven. Okay, so he's talking to Steven. And it was just Martin's side of the conversation. Mm-hmm. I liked that. I thought it was really smart writing. I wondered, that motorcycle he had, how did he really get it? Mm-hmm. He said he was a friend of his, but obviously it wasn't.
Yeah, he never met him.
So I think it's a really interesting kind of backstory for Martin. Like, how did he manipulate his way into getting that with his verbal hypnosis thing? Mm-hmm. Or suggestion thing,
which is a good possibility.
Yeah, the daughter asking the mom if she was tired when Nicole Kidman was like in the garden or whatever smoking. Mm-hmm. And the daughter comes home from being with Martin and she's like, "Are you tired?" Not even like out of curiosity, almost like anxiousness. Mm-hmm. "Are you tired?" I thought it was really suspicious.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as my speculations, I was speculating whether or not the daughter was in on it with him, or
yes, yep.
Then it was getting closer to the end, and Nicole Kidman still wasn't getting sick. I was like, is she in on it with him?
Right.
But yeah, nope.
Because it feels like the daughter knew about it the whole fucking time, mm-hmm. and went along with it. And then there's that scene where they're going to visit Bob in the hospital, and Martin's already there. And then Bob looks really uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. So it makes me wonder what Martin said to him. Like, was he like setting up stage 3? Mm-hmm. And I wrote, "Don't drink the lemonade," because he brought them lemonade. I thought maybe he poisoned it. Like we discussed poison. We were trying to figure it out. And like, I don't know how poison would be. Like, first you're going to go be paralyzed, and then you're not going to want to eat. Then your eyes are going to bleed. Special magical poison. And then that scene where the ball was dropped when Martin says, "Just as you killed a member of my family, now you have to kill a member of your family. 4 steps: paralysis of the limbs, no food to the point of starvation, bleeding from the eyes, and then death. 1, 2, 3, 4." Just, I liked the way he delivered that scene.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, damn, dude. Yeah, it was just, the delivery was like, the emotionless, dry delivery we're talking about was just really shown in that scene. Mm-hmm. It was just like the most normal thing he could have said. While Colin Farrell's just kind of sitting there in like stunned silence. I wrote many, many, many times, "Call the cops!" ! Tell your family! Mm-hmm. And then it's just me. I'm wondering, like, how will he make these things happen? And if his dad died 2 years ago, then he had 2 years of planning. Okay, so I'm trying to, like, in my head, figure this out, which was kind of pointless. But I thought maybe go back and ask the son, what did Martin say and/or do to you? Mm-hmm. Martin's there in the beginning, wants to talk to him in the cafeteria, goes there, says that his family's going to die if he doesn't kill one of them, and then leaves, and then he never goes back to his son to be like, "Hey, Martin was here before we were all here. What did he say?" It's another one of those little plot hole things. I just didn't like that.
Well, and another plot hole is the end. I'm like, what? How's Colin Farrell walking around? Like, shouldn't he be in handcuffs?
Unless the fucking... him saying he was going to dig a hole in the backyard.
Yeah.
Was foreshadowing, which is really creepy as fuck. Your son is buried in the backyard. And everyone seems to be okay with that. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it fits in this emotionless universe, but to your point earlier, I said that's a fucked up secret to tell your son. I did like you said, "I will shave your head and make you eat your hair." That'd have been LOL moment number 3. That was funny.
Yeah, my second LOL moment, now that you're going back there and going through it, and I thought about it, was after Bob's eyes started bleeding, and the sister's like, "Dad,
Bob's gonna die.
Bob's dying.
Bob's dying." Then after the daughter collapses at the choir rehearsal, I'm just like, fucking call the cops and tell your wife. And then I said, this is like the movie Thinner, but with more steps.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me. Mm-hmm. And then he finally does tell Nicole Kidman. So I'm like, finally. Like, that's such like tension and stress for me. I thought it was really interesting when the daughter said to Nicole Kidman, "You won't be able to move either, but you'll get used to it." I'm like, damn, like, I think that the daughter is like such a wild card in this whole thing, because how much did she know, and how far back does it go, and did she have a hand in any of this? Was she like, "Yes, I'll do this for you because I love you"?
And like, I know no one had emotions, but she was like kind of extra on the no emotions
and being okay with just the weird shit. Like,
yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
Just even teasing her brother that, can I have your iPod when you die?
Yeah, that's so fucked up.
You're going to be the one to die, right? It was just like, she was creepy.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
And quite frankly, at the end, I was just expecting her to pull out a gun and shoot Martin at the diner.
I thought the dad was gonna. Mm-hmm. When he got up first, I thought for sure he was gonna walk over to Martin and like blow his brains out. It would have been a satisfying ending.
Mm-hmm.
And then the scene with Nicole Kidman talking to Martin, like trying to, I guess, talk with him after he'd been kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, how come you didn't ask him how it's happening? No one asked how. I know they're not supposed to because that's the point of the movie. But
yeah.
If I was in this situation, I'd be like, how the fuck are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing it, fine, we'll figure it out. But how the fuck are you doing this? Like,
yeah, why'd you kiss his toes?
I thought they were going somewhere with that.
Yeah.
Like in a very, worshipping, in a very godlike way. Maybe he had these powers we didn't know about. Maybe it's what kept her standing longer.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm waiting for it to fucking collapse. Like every scene, I was waiting for it just to fall down. I think they were trying to explain something when train number whatever's coming, so we'll talk through it. When Martin bit Colin Farrell's arm,
mm-hmm.
and then bit off his piece of his own arm, and was trying to like explain it was like, I don't remember how he explained it. It was very much like whatever happens to you happens to me. We're connected.
Eye for an eye.
I was wondering if they were trying to, if he was using that to explain what was going on in any way. And the whole time I was just like, kidnap his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously he loves his mom. Kidnap her, use her as bait. Maybe he'll take his weird gypsy thinner fucking voodoo curse off of you. The one good thing I did like though was I had no idea how this was going to end. With about a half hour left, I was like, I have no idea how this is going to fucking end.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as you said, I wrote, she's kissing his feet in front of her daughter, who's already in love with him. Possibly, unless he put a spell on her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, kill a child, we can have another. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just weren't, they just, none of them reacted to things the way, like, quote unquote, normal people would.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the daughter was going to free him. Ended up being Nicole Kidman. I thought the whole scene where the daughter was offering herself to die was a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the whole make me walk again so we can run away together. I thought when she said she was going to grab that black dress, I thought that was foreshadowing.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was like,
I thought he was going to kill her.
Yeah, that's how I took it.
Yeah, especially like the way he was acting around her. I didn't expect to get what we got. Because then I was like, holy shit, they're all duct taped and he's putting hoods over their heads.
Mm-hmm.
And he puts his hat over his head and spins around and fires. Like, ugh. And the only one I didn't want him to kill was the son.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the other two had a case, which I guess this is why they did it. But the other two had a case for being, the daughter is just fucking whatever her thing is. And Nicole Kidman is whatever her fucking thing is. The son just felt like the only real innocent character.
Yes.
Which was the point.
Aside from his obsession with armpit hair.
Yeah. So yeah, that especially with the whole earlier I said like my holy shit moment was the him trying to pretty much suck up to his dad so he didn't get killed. Mm-hmm. And then I was just like, ah, damn it. Because when he was spinning around, I'm like, fire now, no, fire now, and he wouldn't. He was like, and then he did. And I'm like, no. And then of course my notes end with why, what, how. And anything else you want to add, or want to go to final thoughts? That is the end of my notes.
I guess just I'm gonna go with he had some sort of power.
Yes, I think
Martin did
some kind of power of suggestion.
Because literally, you can go back in that movie and whatever he asks someone to do, they do.
Yeah. But there was another scene where he left. He was like, no, I'm leaving now. I got to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was after Alicia tried sucking his thumb.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you wonder if she had like some kind of power too, but it wasn't working. Because she was like, you need to stay and have my tarts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Bitch, ain't nobody want your tart.
Right? As if. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought it was well told, well acted, of course, well written, except for those little mediocre parts. The dialogue was so different and unique, and it fit the tone of the movie a lot. And I'm definitely interested in seeing more from this director.
My thoughts are just unsettling movie.
Definitely.
Tension, lots of tension, and I think it is, as a friend of mine said, you don't watch this movie, you experience it.
Ooh, yeah. Well put. Definitely. I agree with it. Yes. But so that was the same way with Mother as well. I felt that movie, experienced that movie. Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot else you can say, really. It's a movie that you definitely, if you like strange, unusual movies that don't tie everything up in a nice little bow, check it out.
Yeah, totally.
Come back from spoilers. Sorry, I forgot to say it. So come back from spoilers. Now I think we're pretty much done talking about the movie. If you came back from the spoilers and you haven't seen this movie, go see it. It's definitely worth a watch. Well, that wraps up this episode. Thank you for listening. Tell us what you thought of the movie in the comments below. Did you like it? What are your theories on what Martin was doing to the family?
And how?
Yes. Because I'm very interested to hear what other people think. If you like the video, please tick the like box. Share it with your friends or cool people who might dig the podcast. And please subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the newest content. Speaking of, our next podcast will be on the movie Boys in the Trees. Yes?
Yes.
A movie that TJ has wanted to see for a long time now, and I think it was actually possibly going to be included in our 31 Days of Horror, but we weren't sure how horror it was.
Yeah,
so we held off on it.
So we decided to pass on it.
There's a few movies like that we'll be touching in the future that we held off on. So stay tuned for that one, Boys in the Trees. Until then, once again, my name is Philip.
And I'm TJ.
And we'll be back soon to talk about the movie Boys in the Trees. Goodbye.
Bye.